Please note, this is a movie recap. If you want the full story and the best experience, I highly recommend watching the original film. Wazzy rode his bicycle in the middle of the night. He headed down the road and finally reached his destination. His girlfriend was already waiting there. When they met, they immediately got into the car. Wazzy stared at her for a moment. His girlfriend asked him the purpose of the meeting. Wazzy then took out a box. Inside, there was a ring. Wazzy wanted to give the ring to her, but his girlfriend rejected him immediately. A moment later, the police arrived. The deputy looked at Wazzy's girlfriend and ordered her to get out of the car. He told her to stand beside the car with her hands up. Then, the deputy called Ethan to come out. He told Ethan to shoot her if he wanted to join the night patrol. Without hesitation, Ethan shot her. Wazzy was terrified and immediately ran away. Wazzy ran as far as possible, moving through alleys and climbing over fences. When he felt he was far enough away, he hid behind a wall. Without him realizing it, a police officer had already found him. The officer prepared to shoot Wazzy. However, when he saw the ring Wazzy was wearing, he changed his mind and walked away. The scene shifts to Ethan, who is giving instructions and motivation on how to become a police officer. Suddenly, a robber bursts in and fires a warning shot. He begins to intimidate everyone there. Then, Ethan stands up and explains that the whole thing was just a demonstration. Ethan was on patrol with his new partner, Xavier. The two of them talked about their pasts and realized they had a lot in common. For fun, they even had a push-up contest. Later, they stopped to buy some snacks. While they were there, Ethan began to talk about a person the night patrol was currently searching for. Xavier then called his younger brother. It turned out that his brother was Wazzy. Xavier asked him about the person the night patrol was searching for. However, Wazzy seemed to panic and quickly hung up the phone. Wazzy began to walk cautiously. He then pressed a doorbell, and suddenly, everything went dark. When the hood was removed from his head, Wazzy was already tied to a chair. He was being interrogated by Bornelius, the brother of his girlfriend. Wazzy explained that he wasn't the one who did it. However, Bornelius didn't believe him so easily. He performed a body scan on Wazzy. After that, he threatened Wazzy even more aggressively. Finally, Wazzy agreed to take them to the location of the murder. When they arrived at the scene, they were stunned by the facts they found. They set up a barrier so that Bornelius's sister could rest in peace. Afterward, Wazzy went back to his house. He unlocked the door, went inside, and headed straight to the second floor. He moved a desk and pulled out a piece of paper left by his father. It said, "My house, my money." Wazzy looked furious and crumpled the paper in his hand. Then his mother walked in. When she saw Wazzy wearing the ring, she became angry. She warned Wazzy to be very careful with the night patrol. She revealed that they were the ones who had killed his father. Meanwhile, Ethan and Xavier were practicing at the shooting range while talking. Suddenly, Xavier mentioned his desire to join the night patrol. Before Ethan could give him an answer, Ethan's partner from the night patrol arrived to pick him up. Ethan then left for duty. Inside the car, Ethan received a new assignment. They were going to Wazzy's house, and Ethan was ordered to kill him. Ethan entered Wazzy's house and asked his mother where he was. When Wazzy came downstairs, he was shocked to see Ethan. However, Ethan simply told Wazzy that he had left his bicycle behind. After that, Ethan walked out. When he returned to the car, he lied to his partner and said that Wazzy was not at home. They returned to the headquarters where many members were already waiting. There, Ethan met his father, the man he thought was long dead. Ethan was confused and couldn't believe that his father was actually still alive. Suddenly, he was forced to drink his father's blood. Right after that, he was shot on the spot. The next day, Xavier went to the office to ask about Ethan. However, all he received were vague taunts and condescending remarks. Then he left to find Wazzy. When he arrived, Wazzy's mother and her group were already waiting. As usual, a heated argument broke out over their differing opinions within the family. As the situation intensified, Wazzy's mother had his partner shot just to prove how serious she was. Outnumbered and unprepared, Xavier was brutally beaten. After that, all the gang members armed themselves, looking as if they were ready for a full-scale war. When night fell, the night patrol commander gave the final briefing before starting their important mission. Meanwhile, Ethan, who had been shot dead, suddenly woke up. He felt a strange power surging within him. The scene shifts back to Xavier. He woke up next to his dead partner and immediately ran outside. He got into the car to call for backup, but it turned out his superiors had already acted by sending in a night patrol unit. Realizing he was on his own, he knew he had to take action himself. Suddenly, Ethan appeared. Together, they prepared to make their move tonight. As they started walking, Ethan began to lose control. When Xavier tried to help him, Ethan bit him instead. Ethan was stunned and in total shock.
He had become a bloodthirsty vampire. Wazzy happened to pass by and saw what was happening. Suddenly, Ethan was shot by gang members who were in the middle of a battle. A moment later, Ethan stood up and came back to life again. The shocked gang members started shooting at him repeatedly, but Ethan immediately fled. Meanwhile, the nearby residents were being rounded up and arrested one by one. Ethan went into a frenzy and began to attack. He tore bodies apart as if he had fully become a vampire. The night patrol started to attack with brutal force. Every time they were shot and killed, they would rise again and again. However, Ethan hunted the night patrol. He had become an anomaly, attacking his own kind and hunting every vampire in sight. Suddenly, he stopped. He tried to resist the control of his father's blood. His hands began to move on their own until he slashed his own throat. When he woke up, Ethan was consumed by a thirst for blood. He drank the blood that had been stored by the other vampires, and he felt a sudden surge of freshness and strength. He was ready to hunt again. Meanwhile, Wazzy panicked and ran upstairs. He grabbed a storage box, and when he opened it, he was stunned by what was inside. For a moment, he felt a wave of frustration and mixed emotions. Suddenly, his ring began to glow. A new sense of determination began to form within him. When the door opened, Wazzy was ready to fight the vampires in his Zulu combat suit. As he stepped outside, the vampires began to keep a distance. When Wazzy attacked, Ethan blocked him easily and knocked him down. Wazzy attacked again, but Ethan grabbed him by the throat. He then flew him up into the air. Wazzy began to fight back. Using the power of the ring, he landed a direct punch to Ethan's head, sending him crashing down. Later, Wazzy found himself in a police interrogation room with a strange object impaling his stomach. An officer came in and sat down. He explained that vampires had been a part of the police department for a very long time. He then led Wazzy out of the room to meet his superior. When he entered, the final boss appeared. Suddenly, the tip of the dagger stuck in Wazzy's body began to glow. He struck the boss right in the jaw, shattered into dust until nothing was left.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think in the comments below. See you in the next recap.